So, how do I get better at running long distance? I wish I could tell all of you that it was an easy process. I know all of you that are training for middle to long distance running already know how difficult running faster and getting better at running long distance is. It's a long-term approach. You have to have a belief in delayed gratification. Okay, it took me from 1992 when I was 15 years old until 2007 when I was 31 years old to run a sub 2 hour and 20-minute marathon. Okay, so it's not an overnight process. You have to find an enjoyment for what you're doing. You have to continually train and continually practice your trade. Okay, if you're training for a 5K or if you're training for a marathon, those races are very anaerobic in nature, 5K, versus very aerobic in nature, the marathon. But you have to continue to train, continue to work on your leg development, speed development, continue to stress the energy systems of your body so that you can, again, improve your body's lactate tolerance so that you can run more efficiently, more effectively for longer periods of time. But it's not an easy process, and I think a lot of athletes get disheartened and get frustrated with themselves because they expect fast results. And that's probably one of the, I know for myself, I wanted to break 14 minutes I wanted to get into 13-minute range for 5K when I was in college. And for me personally, I just did not have that type of leg speed. You know, my fastest 5K ever was 14:18 that I ran on the roads in Denver, Colorado. And I just never had that type of speed to get in the 13s. But what I found out was I could run just about the same pace for a marathon as I could for a 10K. Okay, so you have to find out what event really works best for you and to work on how you're running those races. Okay, one of the biggest mistakes I made as a high schooler was going out the first, especially in the 1600-meter event. I was always trying to break 4 minutes for the mile, but I just did not have that type of speed. I would always go out the first lap of the 1600 in around 60 seconds to 61 seconds. Far too aggressive. Okay, so one of the best ways you can run more effectively and more efficiently, you have to make sure that you're gauging your intensity and your aggressiveness in the early stages of your races. One of the biggest mistakes most athletes make is they redline. They go far too anaerobic too early in their races. Even in training, you can go out and go way too fast in the first few repetitions if you're doing intervals on the track and really pay for it in those later reps. So make sure that you're continually practicing and be patient with yourself. Okay, this is a sport where great results don't come overnight. Okay, it might take you several months, several years, and might even take you over a decade to achieve the type of time you're going after. So remember, it takes the body anywhere from 21 days to 4 weeks to adapt to any stress you're placing on it. Okay, so if right now you're doing mile repeats and you're running them in say 7 minutes per rep, okay, you have to train around a month at that particular intensity before your body's going to truly adapt to that intensity, before you should start looking at running mile repetitions in say 640. Okay, that's kind of the philosophy that Jack Hazen, my collegiate coach, had when I was training at Malone University. We would always focus on doing mile repeats. We would start the season off around 85% of our best mile time. So my best mile time right now is 4:22. So we would usually I would start doing my mile repeats for cross country, doing 6 1-mile repetitions at 5:05, and we would do that for 3 weeks, and then we would move to the next intensity, which was usually around 4:52 to 4:55 per rep, and we would do that for 3 weeks, and then move to the next intensity. Okay, so you have to have a strategy in terms of how you're setting up your training. Always focus on a longer buildup rather than a shorter buildup, because again, you're not stressing yourself. You're not trying to get in great anaerobic shape in a matter of a short amount of time. You're going to have more time to prepare, and it's going to lessen the amount of stress you're placing on yourself. Okay, again, don't try to get great results overnight. So the question of how do I get better at running long distance? Focus on doing hills every other week. Focus on extending the amount of time you're spending during your long run, and don't just focus on running faster long runs. Also focus on building the duration of your long run. So spending a longer period of time on your feet, running at an easier pace, can also help strengthen you, help build your endurance, build your stamina that you're going to need for running in the shorter as well as the longer races. But don't get in the habit of just running long, slow, and easy every single weekend. Okay? Sebastian Coe, the former world record holder for the 800 meter, the mile, and the 1500 meter, said it best. He said, "I've always believed long, slow distance running produces great long, slow distance runners." Okay, so again, your goal might not be to run a specific time for your specific event, but in most cases, most athletes that are watching these videos, they have a goal time in mind. Okay, there are other athletes out there that are just trying to run their first 5K or participate in their first marathon, and they don't really have a time in mind, but they just want to start and finish their race. So you can get great results just by running easy, relaxed mileage on a consistent basis over a long period of time. Okay, build-up should be a minimum of 12 weeks, but preferably 16 to 24 weeks in length, especially the longer races. If you're training for a 10K, half marathon, 20-miler marathon race, focus on a build-up of 20 to 24 weeks. 4 to 5 to 6 months in length is going to help you prepare adequately. It's going to help you to adapt to the hard training you're doing, and it's going to help motivate you to continue to stay consistent and to start seeing those results. But also make sure that as you're building up, doing these longer build-ups, 4 to 6 month build-ups, that you have some recovery weeks every third week or every fourth week during your build-up. Okay, so say you're running 40 miles a week for 3 to 4 weeks. Run that fourth week maybe at 25 miles. Okay, drop down in volume, give yourself some recovery during that, still provide some intense workouts during the week, but run lower volume and then bounce back up, increase your volume back up the following week, and then do that and keep your volume up and your intensity up for a few weeks, and then do another recovery week. Okay, a lot of the great coaches that I've been very fortunate to work with over the years implemented that strategy as well. They would do a recovery week, usually around every 3 to 4 weeks into a training buildup. And that's the kind of philosophy I have with the training plans and the running courses that I have on RunDreamAchieve.com. It's not an overnight process. So you get better, you get more efficiently, you get more efficient and more effective at doing anything if you're doing it over a consistent basis, over a long period of time, not just kind of not just kind of being interested in doing something great. You have to be 100% focused and zeroed in on what you're doing if you truly want to master whatever it is you're going after. So I hope this video is helpful for you in terms of how do I get better at running long distance. You get better by staying consistent with your mileage, stressing your body's energy systems effectively, usually, at least twice per week, doing strides 2 times a week as well. During those easy days, do some strides, 3 to 4 100-meter strides. They don't need to be all out, just gradual increases in speed, just kind of reminding your body and reminding your legs of what you're training them to do. Do those strides at 2 to 3 to 4 50 to 100-meter strides prior to the start of your intervals, the tempo runs you do, even the varied pace long runs. I would do a few strides before those particular workouts over the years as well, several times. So I hope this video is helpful. If you have any other questions regarding this topic, leave me a comment below. I will definitely reach back out to you. Like and share these videos, and that helps the YouTube algorithm and more athletes around the world to see these videos. And if you're new to the channel, hit that bell icon and the subscribe button so when I make a new video, you'll be notified of it. And I wish you all the best in your training and racing, and I will talk to you all in the next video.